All right. Well,
again, this is not the final format of our show, but we're going to do this because we've had so many requests.
So many. Everybody's just like, we want to see Adam. We hope he's better looking than Victor, and well.
Long and behold, this is what you asked for. And
yeah.
Yes, I know it's underwhelming, but yeah, you get what you pay for, which is nothing.
Yeah, they don't.
Exactly. So they're getting. So it's time for another episode of this. So today we are going to be talking about Jason Reitman's sixth feature film, Men, Women, and Children. This movie does what exactly, Adam? Would you like to tell our viewers?
This movie is a shot-for-shot remake of Disconnect. And
no, it's not. This movie tells the story of several lonely people who live in an age where technological advances, I would dare say, drive pretty much every aspect of everyday life.
Pretty much. And this movie kind of delves into how those technological advancements have, in some cases, made it easier to connect, and in some cases, kind of obscured connection, even when we think there is some connection there.
Not about all of that, but it's hardly about the technology at all. If anything, it's more about the people, their loneliness, inherently uninteresting lifestyles and lives, and how interesting it is that we're able to put so much effort into forming connections with others and place so much meaning into every little thing that we do, despite knowing that we'll all inevitably fade into nothingness. Isn't that right, Adam?
I mean, I'm curious, did you read that from somewhere, or?
No.
Yeah. No, I would agree, and one thing that I did find kind of interesting about this movie is, for a movie that I thought was kind of going to be just like Disconnect in terms of how it's kind of driven by technology, it's not really. Like, technology is a small part of all the subplots, but you don't leave it thinking, oh, I just watched this movie about technology.
Yeah.
It was kind of like I guess, a facilitator.
Exactly.
But,
it was a way of getting as many terrific performances as possible from all the actors in the film and getting some rather human stories.
Yeah.
And what I thought was a genuinely interesting movie, something that I was never at any point taken out of. I was fully engaged the entire time, and I thought that it was actually a surprisingly well done movie for something that was about things that we had already seen done millions of times before. Like, we have the teenager who's very introverted and stuck in his own little world playing video games all the time. We have the teenage girl who's being controlled by her mother constantly. We have another girl who's bulimic, or not bulimic, more anorexic.
Yeah, anorexic.
And it's just, I think the way that Reitman chooses to handle it so delicately. They have a narrator played by Emma Thompson, and the way she kind of tells everything in a very storybook-like manner, it makes it feel very gentle, and it makes it feel, I don't know, so different from most movies that are like this. It's told in a different way, and I thought that was very admirable. It was a lot like Little Children, and I'll give you a chance to say your piece now, but that's what I had to say, and I liked it a lot.
So, I'm glad that we finally get to disagree about something. But where Victor said that, we've seen these characters a lot of times, I agree. There's the insecure girl trying to hook up with the high popular guy.
You don't have to list everything I said.
There's the overbearing parent.
You don't have to say everything I said.
What I did like about the characters is they're all given, at least a little depth, and they're set up pretty well so that at any given point in the movie I was like, yeah, I kind of care what happens to this character. But at the same time, I was like, I've seen this exact character before.
But you didn't think it was neat that they were able to do it in a different way? I mean, at least
that, I'm not sure if they did,
Well, explain yourself.
Okay. So, I mean, as far as the narrator and stuff goes, Victor, I'm looking at the screen. I see everything you're doing. It's not.
What are you talking about?
Nothing escapes me in this technological world. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we have kind of seen these characters before. There's at least a little bit of a twist on every character, but at the end of the day, although I like this movie, there was no individual plotline that I was like, wow, you know, he really kind of did something really original in that one. So that's why I can't say Men, Women, and Children is like amazing or anything, because it's kind of like a good retread of stuff we've seen before with some cool, like they do the whole technological aspect well, like they do all those cool effects, even if Nonstop did them better. My favorite movie.
Now hold on, Nonstop was garbaggio, as they say in Italy. Just kind of the way in which they treat human interactions so delicately, and as being like such a human thing that nobody else can really take away from us, despite us being such an insignificant part of like everything else. And that's what I thought was so interesting to really even think about, even though I've already thought about this before, and on a grander scale, I've had an existential crisis, I'm sure as we all have, at some point in our lives. And I really did enjoy a lot of the performances in the film. I liked Ansel Elgort a lot, and Adam Sandler I thought was great. Yeah, the
performances were good. Adam Sandler was surprisingly, like, he needs to do more depressed, dramatic roles. This movie did include enough kind of comedy so that you were never... You know, you knew the movie wasn't trying to depress you or send you like this really kind of self-serious message, which I liked.
It was just kind of like how technology and how far we've come has affected us in various ways. And it's not, again,
but it's also not all about the technology.
Exactly. But if you really do think about it, everybody was impacted by technology in some way in the movie, and that's how everything kind of happens.
But is technology really any different from humanity?
Wow. We put so much of ourselves into technology that technology is in itself human. Holy, have we figured out this movie, Adam?
I think we have.
Wow. So really, all it's saying is technology is human.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of Tusk a little bit in my reaction to it. It was kind of like, I knew I hadn't just seen anything life-changing, and I had a lot of problems with it, but it entertained me for about 2 hours, and I was glad I saw it.
Yeah. And there was no cameo that frustrated me.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a lot better than...
But I know in my heart I should give it lower, but I'll give it 4 out of 5. I'm generous today. I'm being a little generous. Normally I'd give it a 3.5, but I'm feeling generous, and I liked it.
Wow. I, unfortunately, can't give it the same rating. I'm going to give it 1 out of 5 stars. Plus 2. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars.
Oh, that's unexpected.
Okay.
Here I was thinking he was going to give it 1.